Alright, y'all read the title. Y'all know exactly what this is. Y'all know exactly what this is all going to be about. Homelander, we'll start with him first, is able to take out Black Noir, who is able to survive the explosion from the building with the terrorist, and he was able to survive the chemical plant explosion with very minimum damage. It's stated in the boys that there's no weapon on Earth they haven't thrown at him. They all failed. This would imply nukes, so this would put him around city to mountain level. And this would give him pretty good durability and strength, since it would be comparable with Black Noir. Homelander saved Butcher from the C4 explosion, and Butcher was not injured, so Homelander would be around at maximum 25 Mach and below. There would be a given with how durable he is, seeing how bullets don't actually really harm him all that much at all. Homelander was also able to scream so loud that he would pop eardrums, even from people that were many feet away. This would give him, I guess you could say, above human durability, above human attack yelling powers. He also lasered a jet in half, and he was faster than the jet, so that's pretty obvious. But he also effortlessly threw a baseball into orbit. I believe that was in the manga. He hurled a fighter jet with one hand. That was, or manga. It was the comics. He's also stronger than Queen Maeve and the rest of the boys' universe in general. And he would be subpar when it comes to combat. Or at least he would be very mediocre, seeing how he never trains and we don't ever actually see anything off of that. The C4 explosion would also mean that he is at least able to comprehend that he can't simply just go and bring something that's not actually him. That would also give him that, or like at least the understanding of, like, you know, hey, if I go too fast with this person, I might just, rip them in half or whatever. And on to the Undying. An Undying State Warrior likely has Type 4 immortality. Type 4 immortality specifically is with reincarnation or resurrection. Characters that are immortal because whenever they die, they will simply reincarnate within another body or resurrect themselves at a later point in time. At this level, we are shown that they can also grow to whatever size that they want. They can also use the elements that are around them. They can use laws, like infusing laws onto weapons or their own bodies, like the solo bow works, or laws to put on a sword so that they can cut things in half. There are also energy manipulation that they do have. They would also have a form of intangibility. We also know that Undying State Warriors can cut off history so that nobody can actually go back in time to see moments. It is unknown that if this is causality, but they do specifically mention time. They also have mental abilities, and this is simply whenever Siping was simply stronger than the person that he was investigating. He took his memories, but the dude never actually realized that he was in stop time, nor did he realize that he was in a deeper universe actually being investigated. So perception also would be locked as well, because of the novel or the author's likely inspiration from Journey to the West. There is a similar concept of putting lots of space in very small items, such as what Soiping has done, or not what Soiping, but what Soiping encounters. All these chapters are in Astral Pet Store 1476, as I said before I started talking about them. 1457, 1456, 1484, 1483, 1472, and 1482, respectively, of course. 1455 shows us the size and the speed that these beings could travel. In 1452 and 1453, we do get more either speed or laws of the universe that these beings can actually change, such as the girl, on the other hand, had to quickly move back when the sword struck her. Lightning blade. She had to move 12 years into the future to avoid the strike's effect. But in the next moment, she dashed back to her original spot. These are some of the training arcs and abilities that we are also shown throughout Astral Pet Store. Other abilities, speeds, and strengths that need to be seen would be in chapter 1064, when Soiping entered the temple with the 3 gods and they started fighting Joanna. They Undying State Warriors also could do that. 353 are some of the beings that in chapter 353 it describes the durability that lesser beings are able to do. Therefore, an undying state warrior can also do said thing. 1054 are some of my favorite moments. If you are interested in checking that out, chapter 1193 also is for gauging the inscaling for ascendance, specifically before the war with the heavens happens. In chapter 917, this also explains how fast Soaping can pick up in combat. This would include a assassination attempt due to who Soaping is, and this would be out in space with high planetary ranges of hypnosis. 1025 and 1025 through 1031 shows more skills and powers, including time attacks. Chapters 1423 shows the beginning of when the Rain Clan ancestor awakens, which also is another favorite moment of mine. 1481 shows the difference between a universe dominator and an undying state being. Basically, if the very idea or the corpse of the ancestral being or the undying state warrior would drive the universe dominators crazy. 1453 to 1435 and 1436 shows the perception abilities that Soaping would have within this fight. Chapters 833 goes a little bit more into their speeds. Chapter 1152 goes more into their hacks and the more powers that they can have. In the first few hundred chapters, like before we hit 200, Soaping was also a teacher, and the Rain Ancestor God he basically was his own clan. So take that for what you will. You basically are your very own little New York, pretty much. Think about it that way. I think from chapter 35 and onward would show the endurance that Undying State warriors would have, and it would be good enough to basically give an Undying State warrior the win. I think Homelander, in terms of this verse, would maximally hit 556. This is the chapter where Tang Ruin goes back to her family and fights 2 families off. I'm not saying Homelander would be as strong as her. I'm just saying that would be the maximum that you could argue. And I think Homelander would maximally be around the level 7 to level 9 battle pet warriors. I think all the elemental abilities and spatial abilities would basically be like a Lovecraftian nightmare versus Homelander, and that's kind of what I wanted this to be. So, an Undying State Warrior would have strength, speed, all hexes, all intelligence, all weapons, durability, stamina, AP and DC, endurance. The cosmology is bigger, and overall, Undying State Warriors would absolutely trump this man. Thank you for watching. Happy Halloween.